Sponsors this morning.
Welcome back. 2 years ago, Bernie Nolan was given the initial all clear after her first brave battle with breast cancer. But last April, doctors delivered the devastating news that her cancer had not only returned, but that it had spread to her brain, lungs, liver and bones and was incurable.
Well, last month, after a short spell in a hospice, Bernie returned home to live out her final days with her family after doctors ruled that there was nothing further they could do to help her. And her sister Coleen is with us now. I'm so sorry you're here under these circumstances.
I know. I was just saying it was so lovely to be back and see you all, because I just love everyone here, but just I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I want Bernie to be here.
Of course.
You know, talking about her book and everything, but unfortunately she can't be, so...
I mentioned that hospice and she'd been told, you'd all been told, you'd got 2 weeks. And you'd all gathered together. What month was that?
February.
So in February you're all together?
Yeah, beginning of February. Bernie had gone up to Blackpool for the half term to visit all the family and was taken ill whilst she was there. And we just, next thing, got this phone call saying she's got 2 weeks at the most. It's just taken her really quickly. She was struggling to breathe and all of that, and they moved her into a hospice, and we were there every night, every day and night. And the hospice were fantastic, I have to say. And then 4 weeks down the line, typical Bernie, right, I want to go home now. I'm not staying here.
Yeah.
And just this incredible spirit always. I mean, every day now is like a bonus in some ways, and in other ways we're all in limbo, you know, because it's just mental strength just amazes me.
Well, she's always been a fighter. The first time that she had it, she vowed that she was going to fight it and get over it. And it seems that that spirit within her, she still has that.
She's fighting it every single day, and she fights it better than any of us fight it. You know, she's been the one that's been strong for all of us. Bernie's biggest sadness when she was told that it had returned and it was incurable, and the reason she didn't come out straight away into the public domain, obviously for Erin's sake, her daughter, but mainly because, and I found this typical Bernie and yet sad as well, she felt she'd let women, the women that she'd been strong for and fighting for, she felt, oh no, I'm going to let them down because it's come back, and I don't want them to give up now thinking it's happened to me. And
which is crazy.
Well, as you've also said, that there are many different forms of cancer. It takes many different forms.
Yes.
And it's not the first time your family has been touched with cancer.
No, that's right. I mean, Bernie's the third sister now out of 6 girls to have had breast cancer. So yeah, it's affected our family massively, but they don't carry the common gene.
This is you've had the BRCA gene test, and so that's not there.
No, that wasn't there in Bernie or Linda, so that connection isn't there, but the geneticist has said that he thinks it could be a rogue gene from my father's side, because there was no breast cancer or breast cancer on my mum's side. They think it might be a rogue gene from my dad's side, but obviously
you just don't know.
You don't know.
Probably the coolest thing as well is that she's now lost her voice, hasn't she? Her singing voice.
I think the first moment in the years that Bernie's had it, and even when she was told it had come back and it was incurable, and she was still strong. I mean, she was working right up to last Christmas. She was touring in the stage play Chicago, and then she went into pantomime. She just never stopped working. It wasn't going to get her. And then she got this cough and started to lose her voice, and eventually they said, you're not going to sing again. And that was the first moment where I felt because Bernie lived for singing, still lives for singing, and I think that was the biggest blow to her above everything else, was that you can't sing again.
How did the rest of the family take it? I mean, I think you took it particularly difficult.
Yeah.
And hard.
I found it really hard when I found out about Bernie. And I don't know why. It wasn't that I was more upset that Bernie had got it, you know, than when Linda and Anne got it. It was just so shocking, because Bernie had never told me she was worried about anything. You see, with Linda and Anne, oh, I've got a lump, I'm going to the doctor. So you kind of, when are you getting your results? I got a phone call saying Bernie's got cancer. I didn't even know she thought she had cancer. So it was such a shock to my system in the middle of cooking Sunday dinner one day Bernie's got cancer, and it was so shocking, and I just found it really difficult. And also, the pessimist in me, and I'm not normally a pessimist, I did think, we can't be third time lucky here. We can't be this lucky with 3 of them having it. And so I immediately had that. And because she was saying it was a different cancer to the one Linda and Anne had, it was more cell-based, or I don't know the technical side of it, but yeah, immediately I found it hard. I found it hard to go out even. You know, I remember we were meant to be going to the tour of Dancing on Ice, actually, the following evening. And I just found myself, I can't sit there and enjoy an evening, and it really, really got to me.
And how does it affect the rest of the family? Because obviously when she told you and you were all gathered there, I think you said there was sort of 30 of you in the room, and sort of relationships there, I know in the past, and you've spoken about it before, that, you know, there's been problems and tensions between that. How does this affect it? Because, I mean, Bernie, in the book, she sort of speaks about how she would like it if that was now healed.
I think what's amazing about us, a big family, or families in general, is when something like so tragic like this happens, everything else is forgotten about.
Yeah.
So when we were all sitting in that room with Bernie, we were there for Bernie. You know, I was sitting there with, you know, my sister Anne, who I haven't spoken to for about 4 years, and we were talking because it wasn't about us.
No.
You know, and I didn't want Bernie to feel, oh, they're in the room together, is there going to be, you know, an argument? That was never going to happen, and that's the way we've looked at it. This isn't about us, it's not about what's happened in the past. It's all about Bernie, and if this makes her happy for us all to be there, then we will be there for her.
Well, I think definitely when my dad died, that it brought together sections of the family that hadn't really, not ever fallen out, but just hadn't really spoken. And then suddenly you think, I think, you know, we'd like everyone back in again now.
Yeah, it changes your whole perspective on life and your priorities on everything. You know, I'm just enjoying every day now with my daughter, and things that I took for granted before, you just see in a different light. And
the book is in 2 very distinct halves, isn't it? So there's before and there's after the diagnosis, and the life of the Nolans and time together.
I think that's what she wanted to do. She doesn't want to just be remembered as the girl that was here and being brave and strong about cancer. You know, Bernie had a fantastic career prior to all this. And she wanted to get all that out. And also for Erin, it's like it's leaving something for Erin, you know, her daughter, to read about. So she wanted to put the 2 together and not just make it a book on cancer issues. You know, Bernie, she's still on the texting now. Make sure you say this or I'll kill you.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, she's a feisty one, that girl. Still scares me.
Yeah. And you're the one that's going to have to. You're doing the interviews on her behalf.
No, and
Don't mess it up.
Really, really, really hard. And you know, I didn't want to do it. I really, when I was asked to do it, I said, no, I don't think I can do this. And also because, you know what people are like, oh, jumping on Bernie's bandwagon, or you're getting publicity because I just want this book to do well for her, you know. She's written it right up to the point where she couldn't, and then Steve's taken the last bit over, which is lovely.
It's very moving, the final part.
It is. And she wants it out there, and she can't do it, so we're all chipping in and helping.
It's made you careful about your own health, hasn't it? I know that you have regular checks. And
I go every 6 months to a breast specialist and get checked, and I will do that for my daughter as soon as she's old enough, you know. And even now I say to her, you know, if you ever find anything, tell me straight away, because she's aware of it all now. So yeah, I go every 6 months, and if I'm worried about anything in between that, I have no problem of going, I'm worried about this.
Well, this is, if there is a message to come out of this as well, and yeah, I know that Bernie wanted to say, look, listen, because this is the path my cancer took.
Yes,
it's not necessarily the path that yours will take.
Well,
you
look
must
at Linda,
fight it,
you know,
and
Anne.
Yeah.
You know, they've both had it as well, and they're both here, and touch wood, they're both in the clinic.
But also,
it's always different.
Checking yourself, making you sure that you're body aware.
And don't be frightened to go when you find something. It doesn't matter if you think it's, oh, I'm embarrassed because it might be nothing. It doesn't matter. The main thing I'd like to say, though, as well, on behalf of Bernie, is the amount of, because Bernie's not on Twitter or anything. I'm on Twitter, and Bernie's not, and I tell her all the time about the tweets and Facebook messages and messages in general. So everybody out there, thank you so much, because it really, really does mean a lot to her, and well, to all of us actually. The amount of support and love that's pouring out is emotional.
Well, lots of love to all of you,
Yeah,
to the whole
absolutely.
family, and
Send her
to
love.
Bernie. Is she watching today?
She is watching.
Yeah, good. I hope she got it right.
I'm so stressed.
I hope she did that right. That right. It seemed like it was a pretty good job to me, and lots of love from everyone in here.
And here it is, Bernie Nolan, now and forever. Colleen,
Out on
thank you.
Thursday.
Out on Thursday.
Thanks, Colleen.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
For further help, information, or advice on breast cancer or anything else that we've discussed, have a look at our website.
And we'll be back after the break.